This evening, first up, a warm handshake and a powerful pledge. President Irfaan Ali reaffirms Guyana's growing partnership with Canada. From direct flights to multi-million-dollar investments, find out how this alliance is shaping Ghana's future. Plus, a mystery at the Stelling. A man lies dead from stab wounds in Vreed-en-Hoop, and a 22-year-old bowman claims self-defense. But was it a robbery gone wrong or something more? Police are digging into the details, and we have the latest. Also, oil money myth. The government hits back at claims ExxonMobil is cashing in more than Guyana. We break down the numbers behind the Stabroek Block deal and what's changing in future oil contracts. Meanwhile, has the system failed us? A 25-year-old businessman is out on bail after being charged with assaulting and threatening his partner in a case that's shocking the nation. Why critics says Guyana's justice system is letting survivors down. And abroad, violence flares again in Kenya. Deadly protests mark the anniversary of last year's deadly unrest. What sparked the outrage, and how is the government responding? All this and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for June 26, 2025. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, Karen Sukan, a 25-year-old businessman from Number 2 Village, East Kanji, has been granted $110,000 bail after being charged with assaulting and threatening his partner, 20-year-old Joanna Ramatar, in a domestic violence case that has drawn national attention. Sukan, who appeared before Magistrate Michelle Matthias at the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court, is facing 3 charges: assault causing actual bodily harm, threatening language, and threatening behavior. Bail was set at $50,000 for the assault charge and $30,000 each for the other 2 charges. As part of his bail conditions, he must stay at least 50 feet away from Joanna, surrender his passport, and report weekly to the Maibikuri police station. He is expected to return to court on July 21st. The charges stem from an alleged incident on June 6th and a series of disturbing claims made public by Ramatar through a viral Facebook post. She detailed 6 years of physical and emotional abuse, including being beaten, kicked, and threatened with weapons while raising their children. Despite multiple police reports, she said her complaints were ignored or dismissed, prompting strong criticism of law enforcement handling of the case. Following her social media post, police launched an investigation, leading to Sukan's arrest in Region 5. His release on bail has sparked renewed outrage, with Joanna expressing fear for her life and stating on social media, "The system has failed us once again." Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vinay Prasad, has recently voiced disappointment in the judiciary's response, lamenting the release of abusers on bail in cases of domestic violence. As the case unfolds, it has reignited national conversation around the handling of domestic violence in Guyana, particularly the need for stronger protections for survivors and greater accountability within the justice system. With Sukan set to reappear in court on July 21st, all eyes will remain on the judiciary to ensure justice is served and that victims of abuse are no longer left to suffer in silence or fear. In other news, police in Region 3 are investigating the alleged murder of an unidentified man of African descent who was fatally stabbed on Wednesday evening at the Vreed-en-Hoop Stelling on the west coast of Demerara. The incident reportedly occurred around 6 p.m. According to a security guard, the injured man was seen bleeding from both sides of his upper body before collapsing on a bench near a yellow stone. He was rushed to the West Demerara Regional Hospital by public-spirited citizens, but was pronounced dead on arrival. Police observed 3 stab wounds on the man's upper body. His body was later taken to the Ezekiel's funeral home, where it awaits a post-mortem examination. Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Force has since released a photo of the deceased and is appealing to the public for help in identifying him. Relatives or persons with information are asked to contact 229-2750 or 225-8196. Following investigations, a 22-year-old bowman from Wales, West Bank Demerara, was arrested at the Georgetown Public Hospital with visible injuries. He claimed the deceased attempted to rob him of passenger fare and attacked him with a knife. The suspect said he disarmed the man and stabbed him in self-defense. He has been taken into custody at the Vreed-en-Hoop police station as investigations continue. On a different note, the government of Guyana has reaffirmed that the country continues to receive a greater share of oil revenues than ExxonMobil and its partners under the 2016 Production Sharing Agreement for the Stabroek Block. In response to recent claims suggesting that Exxon-led consortium ExxonMobil, Hess, and CNOOC earn more than Guyana, the Ministry of Natural Resources issued a statement clarifying the revenue sharing structure. It explained that Guyana's returns includes a 14.5% share comprising 12.5% profit oil and 2% royalty, while the companies retain 10.5% after contributing their share of the royalty. The ministry noted that confusion arose from Exxon's use of international accounting standards, which grouped both profit and cost oil, inflating perceived earnings. However, officials insist Guyana's earnings remain accurate and in line with the PSA. The government has since introduced a new model PSA for future oil ventures, reducing the cost of oil to 65%, increasing royalty to 10%, and applying a 10% corporate tax. This agreement also requires multi-million-dollar signing bonuses, measures aimed at ensuring Guyana secures better terms in the future. Stick around when we return. Guyana-Canada partnership strengthened amid Venezuela tensions, and ask Gov chatbots to revolutionize access to government services, President Ali.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali has announced the launch of Ask Gov, an artificial intelligence-powered chatbot that will offer 24/7 support to citizens seeking information or assistance with government services.
We want Digital Guyana to make life enjoyable. We want Digital Guyana to make life easier, to make systems more efficient, to make systems more reliable, to make doing business easier, to ease every single bureaucracy out of the system and create a stable, strong, service-driven and oriented system.
Unveiled during a live stream address on Wednesday, the president described Ask Gov as a virtual public service assistant capable of helping with tasks such as license renewal, document requests, and application tracking. He said the move is part of the administration's broader Digital Guyana agenda aimed at modernizing service delivery and bringing Guyana in line with international digital standards.
The Ask Government is your AI assistant. Ask Gov will be Guyana's official AI assistant for government services. AskGov will be available 24/7 to answer citizens' questions and help complete tasks like renewing a license, checking your application status, or requesting documents. Powered by generative AI, AskGov can answer all government queries and solve problems without human intervention. Already, this is deployed across different countries. In some countries, individuals can be assisted through AI in filling up their tax records so that it makes it easier, less expensive, and more efficient for them to do in their own homes at their own convenience. This is exactly what we'll be replicating here in Guyana to bring us to the first world service delivery model.
The president also highlighted ongoing digitalization efforts, including a US $34.5 million national e-identification system and Housing Ministry's single window platform and GRA's partner app. The unified platform under development will eventually allow citizens to renew passports, ID cards, and other documents online.
Every Guyanese citizen will enjoy this digital future. The single gateway to healthcare, education, housing, financial services, NIS, GRA, birth, marriage, death certificate, business registration, secure online and offline access. This is what we are building for Guyana. In this digital future, we are going to ensure that every service, whether it's NIS, whether it's tax services, all of it at the NDC level, all of it is on a digital platform that support efficiency, reliability, good governance, transparency, and enhance accountability.
President Ali emphasized that AskGov reflects a greater commitment to creating a public service that is faster, more accessible, and more responsive for all Guyanese. President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali has reaffirmed Ghana's strong diplomatic and economic ties with Canada during a reception marking the 158th anniversary of the Canadian Confederation. Addressing dignitaries, business leaders, and diplomats at the Canadian High Commissioner's residence, the President praised Canada for its continued support, particularly as Ghana faces heightened territorial claims from Venezuela. President Ali thanked Canada for its solidarity on issues of sovereignty and border security, stating that both nations share values rooted in democracy, inclusivity, and mutual respect.
Our two countries have long enjoyed excellent relations, rooted in mutual respect and shared ideals. Over the years, we have seen these ties expand across many areas. And one of the most visible manifestations of this relationship is a vibrant Guyanese diaspora in Canada. These men and women and their children and grandchildren are living bridges between our nations. They enrich Canadian society, even as they maintain deep ties to their homeland. Through them, the people-to-people connections between our countries continue to thrive.
The event also highlighted Ghana's commitment to democratic principles as the country prepares for its general and regional elections on September 1st, 2025. Canada's peaceful and transparent elections earlier this year were praised as a model. High Commissioner Sebastian Seguin confirmed Canada's collaboration with local and international partners to support Guyana's electoral process and wider development goals. President Ali also announced direct flights between Georgetown and Toronto starting in December and ongoing investment in health, education, indigenous services, and climate smart initiative. The president encouraged further Canadian private sector investments, particularly in non-traditional areas like agriculture, ecotourism, infrastructure, and green technology.
Canada remains a major investor in our mining sector, and we welcome your increasing interest in our oil and gas industry. But beyond these traditional sectors, we believe that there is significant untapped potential. We invite Canadian businesses to explore opportunities in agriculture, infrastructure, public housing, ecotourism, and especially in climate-smart agriculture, a field where innovation can align beautifully with sustainability.
Canada's contribution to Guyana includes a 120 million Canadian dollars loan for social development and a 50 million Canadian dollars program supporting children, Indigenous youth, and vulnerable girls. Canadian Farm Mining Ventures' Oko West Gold Project was also cited as an example of the growing economic partnership. President Ali concluded by calling for continued bilateral and multilateral collaboration to address global challenges, stating that we should continue to build a partnership that is not only strong, but enduring, inclusive, and sustainable. Don't go away after the break. Germany expands border checks as new government enforces stricter immigration controls, and Kenyan anti-tax protest anniversary marred by fresh rallies and at least 16 killed.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. How smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. The U.S. Embassy in Kingston, Jamaica now requires applicants for F, M, and J non-immigrant visas, including students and exchange visitors, to make their social media accounts public. The move, aligned with a June 19th State Department directive, allows consular officers to access online content for identifying verification and potential hostility towards U.S. Applicants refusing access risk denial as new vetting protocols tighten under resumed student visa processing. Deadly anti-government protests have erupted across Kenya, marking the anniversary of last year's demonstrations that claimed over 60 lives. Al Jazeera's Catherine Soy reports.
This went on all day. Protesters who came here to the Kenyan capital say they want to pay tribute to the more than 60 people who were killed during anti-government protests last year. Some are still missing. They blame the police.
They are involved in extrajudicial killings. They are involved in enforced disappearances, and they are involved in, kidnapping people.
Selivina Mwihaki came early morning. She says she wants her voice heard.
Every drop that is dropping like this, the whole nation, the whole continent, we are rising because we have said as the Republic of Kenya, we are done shedding blood because of power.
This protester says he wants better from the leaders.
The government is taking us as a joke. They don't want to listen to us. They want to go on to their family alone. They have to listen to us as the citizens. We are the people, and the sovereignty because of the power of the people.
Beyond Nairobi, there were similar demonstrations held in other parts of the country. Everyone saying the same thing. They want an end to police brutality. They want justice.
There's a lot of anger on the streets, and sometimes it gets dangerous. Those young men are using stones as the police try to disperse them. But a lot of people that we've talked to say that they are very angry at the police. They say that the police have been using too much force, and they say they will not be intimidated because of all this.
These protests have been heightened even more by the killing of a blogger and teacher who was tortured in a police station. He was arrested after he accused the Deputy Inspector General of Police of corruption. He has since stepped aside from his role, and other police officers who were at the station at the time have been charged with murder. But many Kenyans want more done.
So we are here to demand justice. Justice in terms of compensation, justice in terms of arrest of those officers who are involved, justice in terms of police reforms, because too many Kenyans are losing their lives in the hands of the police.
Most of the people we talk to say they are frustrated and disillusioned, and those in power are not listening to them. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Nairobi.
Germany's new government has implemented tougher immigration policies, including enhanced border controls and turning away some asylum seekers. Al Jazeera's Dominic Kane reports.
On a sunny afternoon, the federal police carry out enhanced checks on the German-Polish border, implemented in early May as one of the first acts of the new government. Since when more than 3,000 people have been denied entry to this country, including 160 asylum seekers.
This proves our measures are successful. They're having an effect. Since the beginning of border controls under the previous government, we've seen a decrease in asylum numbers, even more so in this month. We have rejected 40% more people at the borders.
Pushback policy is controversial. A court in Berlin recently ruled that automatically rejecting asylum seekers at the border breaks EU rules. The government has said it won't stop and may appeal the decision to the European Court of Justice.
We don't have that, but look, you should report.
Across the border in Poland, the new German policy is also unpopular. In some frontier areas, vigilante groups have sprung up, trying to intercept people sent back by Germany, highlighting how important immigration is in Polish politics.
There will be no liberal principles on the border with Germany. I also warned the new government, Chancellor Merz, that from the Polish side we will very critically and very thoroughly check every attempt to send any migrant to Poland.
But in Germany itself, surveys suggest there is broad popular support for Berlin's measures.
And so the upshot of this controversial new policy is that at large expense, the German Federal Police are now much more present on the stretches of the border where checks can relatively easily be carried out, but not present, absent, where they can't.
Meaning there are still places where anyone can come into this country unchecked.
Whether it's the federal police or the state police, we can't be everywhere at once. Instead, we consider our area of responsibility every day and deploy our various available resources, be it drones, technical surveillance equipment, or our personnel.
On a broader scale, the number of new asylum applications had been dropping for many months anyway, the result of tougher measures brought in by the previous government. So it's too soon to establish how effective Friedrich Merz's new policies really are. Dominic Kane, Al Jazeera, on the German-Polish border.
NATO allies have agreed to significantly raise their defense spending to 5% of GDP, with Spain being the only exception. Al Jazeera's Hashim Ahabara reports.
This summit was crucial for Trump and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. The US president has said the US won't bear the burden of NATO costs on its own and that the alliance's member states should spend more. The NATO Secretary General has one main goal: ensure Trump doesn't pull out from NATO. Rutte has been lavishing Trump with praise and commending his leadership.
He's a good friend, and when he is doing stuff which is forcing us to, for example, when it comes to making more investments. Would you ever think that this would be the result of this summit if he would not have been re-elected president?
Trump, who took full credit for NATO's defense spending increase, said his country will remain committed to NATO's Article 5 on collective defense. It was his most unequivocal support for NATO so far.
And this is a monument really to victory, but it's a monumental win for the United States, because we were carrying much more than our fair share. It was quite unfair, actually. But this is a big win for Europe and for actually Western civilization.
But trumping up defense spending will take a few years. Members of the military alliance have agreed to spend 3.5% on buying weapons, upgrading their capabilities, and another 1.5% on border defense-related programs, such as infrastructure. But Spain said it won't spend more than 2.1%. A furious Trump threatened he would consider hitting Madrid with extra tariffs instead. It was crucial for NATO members to raise their defense spending to ensure the US remains within NATO. But committing 5% may result in major cuts to social welfare projects, with many countries struggling with inflation and a slowing economy. Hashim Al-Bara, Al Jazeera, The Hague.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the Thread weather forecast. And that's FTP2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for our news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.